Hello YouTubers, it's been a while since I made a video. There are a number of reasons for that, and it's mainly because most of the opinions I've had recently have been to do with the Scottish referendum, and the other reason being is some of the comments I received on the last video. I have bipolar disorder, so rather than open myself up to any more negativity that really was uncalled for, I decided just to take some time away. And when I say the negativity was uncalled for, I tell you why, and this is, I always say, this is the problem with society, and there isn't just one problem with society, let's be fair, there are about a million and one. But one of the problems with society is that we go around looking at people and we look at their exterior and we judge them, and I know from a psychological point of view that attributions, you're always going to make attributions about other people and about their behaviour. Likewise, they're going to make attributions about you and your behaviour, but you really should try not to be so negative. Just because somebody has a different opinion from you, it doesn't make them a snackhead, it doesn't make them a benefit scrounger, and whatever other accusations it was I had thrown at me. So anyway, a number of reasons for this wee video, and the first reason is the referendum. Obviously, I did say I had a lot of opinions, so I'm following it very closely. I'm very passionate about this. I really think Scotland can go it alone, but I feel sorry for a lot of people. I feel sorry for people that haven't had the benefit of going through the higher education system. I mean, I see my daughter's in high school at the moment, and my daughter hasn't had her eyes opened in the same way that I have. Now, I know the generation that I was brought up in, and the one previous, my parents' generation, it was really easy. Even before that, perhaps, it was easy to leave school. You leave school at 16, you could get into the YTS, or you could get into a factory, and you would be going from school straight into work. And there were still pockets of society back then that had problems with unemployment and whatever, but it's got to the stage now that it really is a dog-eat-dog world, and my daughter is not in any way equipped to join the job market. And I see all the things that the government in Westminster are planning for the years ahead, and it's not so much spoken about in the press as it is wee bits are leaked here and there, and if you don't know where to go and look for them, and a lot of people from my mother's generation don't have access to the internet. Older people than that, there's more of them that don't have access to the internet. There are even people at my age, in fact my younger sister has only just recently had full-time access to the internet where she can explore things that she's interested in or look for things to read. So there is that side to it as well, and I feel like a lot of the things that are put on the television, it's politics at the end of the day. There is scaremongering from the no camp, of course there is, and there are things that the Yes campaign can't answer at this point in time. I tell you why the Yes campaign can't answer that at this point in time, because this referendum is about nothing else than Scotland having its own power. After that vote is taken, then there'll be a period of, I think it's been quoted as being 18 months, there'll be a period of 18 months, they'll have negotiations, they'll put policies forward, they'll get a feel from the Scottish people what they want to see happen in Scotland. So there are no kind of dead certs at this point in time. The only dead cert I think there really is that Scotland's going to be in a far better position socially, economically, and on the world scale. It's going to be in a much better position, and I don't understand why people can't see that. But then I look at what's coming across the media and in the newspapers, and I can see quite clearly where that's coming from, because a lot of people are still of the mind of it's in a newspaper and it's on the news, then oh, it's got to be the gospel truth. And I think that's why I was talking a wee minute ago about the people that haven't been through the higher education system, and I say that because there are a lot of things that you learn in university, and whether you learn them as part of your course or whether you learn them through you join a group or you have this different kind of social group of friends and they're maybe learning about it or they've known about it, and it opens you up to a whole range of things. It opens you up culturally, it opens you up to things that are happening in your own country that you perhaps aren't aware about, all the rules that govern society and even the rules that govern language. And that's exactly why people like me don't get taken seriously, because as much as I can speak very nicely. Most of the time when I'm at home, I'll just speak to my husband kind of like that, you know, and I'll go off at a rate of 100 miles per hour, and we can be very, very, our language can be full of slang, which other people don't appreciate, because they don't see that as you being intelligent. But it's not that I'm not intelligent, because I have worked at that, believe you me. It's because of where I was brought up, you know, and I'm still a product of that. I can't just unlearn all those years of my life when I was an idiot, really, you know. I can't unlearn that, just like I can't now unlearn my honours degree. I can't unlearn all these things that I've been opened up to, and the way that it changed me, because it really did change me, as much as some people might not like to admit that, but it didn't change me for anything bad, you know. I think it was all for the good, all for the good. So the second reason for this video, you'll note I'm a wee bit like Billy Gonley. I'll start on one topic and I'll go wee off on another, and I'll still come back to where I left off. My second reason for making this video is really, I've been opened up to a situation recently. But I know that this situation isn't an isolated situation. And what it was a member of my mother's generation, and I had a nice long chat. And it strikes me that women of my mother's age, and I'll talk about my mother because I'm more comfortable talking about my mum than talking about anybody else, and maybe letting slip who they are. I would hate that to happen. But my mother has been brought up with a completely different set of values from mine, and as much as the way she was brought up sort of dictated the way she brought us up, I can see that she changed an awful lot to save us the same hurt as was caused to her. And I suppose I see myself doing it, you know. No mother's perfect. I do things to hurt my children, you know, and there was things maybe my mum did that I didn't agree with, and I can change them and make it different for my children. They'll not like things that I do, they'll change them and make them different for their children. And everybody, it doesn't matter if there are 4 people in the same family, everybody has a different experience. But my mother has sort of got herself into the mindset that you made your bed and you have to lie in it, which for anybody that doesn't know, it basically means that my mother chose her set of circumstances, so now she's stuck with them, and that's not the case at all. I don't know why you would stay anywhere that you were unhappy, regardless of whether you were walking out of there and going to sleep in the street. Don't ever stay anywhere that makes you unhappy. There is only one key to your own happiness, and that is you, and that is the decisions that you make. So for God's sake, don't be making a decision to stay somewhere where you're depressed out your nut, you know. And that applies to just anything in your life, and I try to live my life very much now that I will not deliberately offend or hurt anybody else, although I have got to a stage now that I will defend myself a wee bit better than I did do in the past. In the past, if somebody had said something to me or about me that I didn't like, I would keep quiet, you know. I wouldn't say anything. I didn't want to make anything any worse, but now I will defend myself, because I know that I go through my life now deliberately not trying to offend or insult or hurt anybody, and I know I have done in the past, but I can't undo that, just like I can't undo my learning, I can't undo anything else. But what I can do is make a wee difference going forward, and that's all everybody needs to do. So there you are. First key to being happy is vote yes, obviously, and the second key to being happy is just make decisions that make you happy. And if you make a decision that's going to make you happy, but somebody else is getting hurt in the process, you have to make the decision anyway. You can make it easier for them, you don't have to be nasty about it, you know, but just look after number 1. And of course you have kids, if you've got kids there might be 2, look after number 2 and 3 and 4 or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, don't make yourself miserable. Alright, so see you next time on Spout Shit.